Hey folks, I've got a question for you. Who do real estate agents really work for? Go ahead, I'll wait. I know that seems like a silly question, but it is a legitimate one. And here's why. Did you know that every time a listing agent gets a listing for whatever MLS they're dealing with, there's a little box on there, and the listing agreement says that not only are the listing agent offering their services, but they're offering all of the services of every agent and brokerage that has access to that MLS. And they are all working on behalf of the seller to get that home sold as prudently as possible. Did you know that?
What?
Of course you did. Why would you? We don't really talk about it, right? But the reality is that is the case. So that means that even though somebody may be representing a buyer, their job is actually to represent the seller and get them the best price possible, get them the best deal possible, because again, they're all extensions of the listing agreement and the listing agent. Wow, that's shocking, isn't it? You didn't know that, but there's a way around it. It's a very simple way around it. That thing is called a buyer's agency agreement. That is an agreement that you sign with the person who's representing you that says you are representing me, not the seller. You're representing me, the buyer, in all transactions. And if you do that and you have one of those on hand, then what happens is you turn that seller's agent into a buyer's agent. Really, legally, you turn them into a buyer's agent, and they are legally bound to represent you, not the seller, not anybody else, just you. Now, how does this play out? Let's say, for instance, I get a listing agreement for a house today. I get the listing agreement and it's a 3-bedroom ranch. Nice house, beautiful people, everything's wonderful. Let's say I'm listing that property on the MLS for $100,000. I do that, and again, as part of the listing agreement, I'm going to pay a commission of whatever I'm going to pay a commission for. I can't say that commission because I would suggest that there's some type of agreement between agents to already determine what the commission will be. But of course, that's not the case. Anyway, property investors, specifically real estate investors, really don't know how to value property. They don't. They just simply do not know how to value property the way banks do. Hey folks, how you guys doing today? Jimmy Roberts here. And after 30 years in the real estate business, over 20 years of that being in the appraisal business, the one thing that I know is for sure, the 5 biggest mistakes that real estate investors make that keep them from making big profits on their flips and in their investments in general. And I'm making that available to you. All you have to do is click the link below, and there you go. This is Jimmy Roberts. Get the 5 biggest mistakes that real estate investors make, and you can get it below. See ya. It's listed for $100,000. It's on the MLS. Now, the minute I put it on the MLS, now what happens is not only am I looking to sell this property, but it's going to be me. I get a portion of the commission, but it's going to be every agent in my office that I work with, every brokerage that's attached to the MLS that also receives it, and so on and so forth. That's what makes the MLS so freaking powerful, right? When you list with an agent, you get not only the services of the person you're dealing with directly, but you also get the services of untold number of people. That's why it's so beneficial for you as a seller to do that. But again, all those people are working for you. What if you're on the other side of the coin? On the other side of the coin, if all of those people are working for the seller, that means nobody's working for you.
Right. If anybody wants to hang, I will be at Subway.
Unless, of course, you have that thing called a brokerage agency agreement or a buyer's agreement. You set that up directly between you and whoever real estate agent you're choosing to work with, right? Now, in that agreement, I'm going to tell you up front, you may be responsible for paying that real estate agent directly. Because in the original listing agreement, 9 times out of 10, change that, 99 times out of 100, it says explicitly that if you work with us, meaning if you are on the seller's team, the seller will be responsible for paying the agent's commission. That's great. But if you are a buyer's agent, you're not on the seller's team anymore. So you, as a buyer, become responsible for paying that commission. Usually it's not a big deal. Usually the seller agrees to also pay for your agent's fee, but they do not have to. Matter of fact, that could be a negotiation point. Again, they don't have to do that because why? They are no longer on the seller's team. They're on your team.
It's the sexiest thing you've ever said to me. So glad you're on my team.
But the best part about that is by being on your team, it's their responsibility to look out for you. That means that maybe they negotiate a little bit harder than they normally would. Maybe they work a little bit harder to make sure that they find the best deal for you. Because again, they're working for you. So that's just a little tip. If you're ever in the market and you're a buyer, you probably want to make sure you get a buyer's agency agreement set up between you and whomever you decide to work with. That way you can ensure that your best interests are taken into account, not the interests of the sellers, right? So there you have it. This is Jimmy Roberts, your local real estate professional, and I'll catch up with you later.